Tiny, Beautiful Things. Cheryl Strayed. Life is full of mess, heartbreak, and beauty. And Cheryl Strayed's Tiny Beautiful Things gathers all of it into one tender, unflinching collection of letters and responses from her time as the anonymous advice columnist Dear Sugar. Through these deeply personal exchanges, Strayed turns advice into art, sharing stories that remind us that pain, loss, and love are all part of the same human fabric. At its core, this book isn't just about advice, it's about connection. Each letter, often written by someone in despair or confusion, is met with empathy that's raw and real. Sugar never preaches or judges. Instead, she meets people where they are, broken, lost, angry, or afraid, and speaks to them like a friend who has been there too. Her answers are essays, often revealing her own past struggles, the death of her mother, her own missteps, the wilderness of grief, and the hard-earned wisdom that only living can teach. The letters come from all walks of life: a woman grieving a miscarriage, a man paralyzed by guilt, someone unsure how to love, another who cannot let go of the past. To each, Strayed writes with fierce honesty and compassion. She reminds them that heartbreak is not a sign of failure, but proof of having loved deeply. That forgiveness doesn't always mean reconciliation, but peace with oneself. And that even in our darkest moments, beauty, however small, still exists. One of Sugar's most powerful messages is that we are all capable of surviving more than we think. She tells her readers that healing isn't about erasing the pain. It's about carrying it with grace. The healing, she says, doesn't mean the damage never existed. It means the damage no longer controls your life. Her words encourage people to keep walking through their suffering, to trust that the path will eventually open toward light again. Throughout the book, Strayed uses her own life as proof of endurance. She recalls her years of poverty, addiction, and wandering, and how the loss of her mother shattered her. Yet, through grief, she found strength, love, and the courage to rebuild herself. Her vulnerability becomes a bridge, showing readers that even the person giving advice is still learning, still hurting, still trying. The tone of Tiny Beautiful Things swings between heartbreaking and uplifting. There are letters that will make you cry and others that make you laugh out loud. But all of them remind us of one truth: we are not alone in our struggles. Every person who writes in is really asking, am I going to be okay? And every response, no matter how hard the truth, carries the same underlying answer: yes, you are going to be okay because you are already surviving. As the collection unfolds, Sugar's wisdom weaves a philosophy of radical empathy, that love is both the hardest and most necessary thing we do, that forgiveness begins with the self, that even the smallest act of kindness, a letter, a story, a shared truth, can heal in ways we may never fully see. She urges her readers to be brave enough to break your own heart, to live fully, to choose love even when it hurts. By the end, Tiny Beautiful Things feels less like a book of advice and more like a mirror, reflecting the beauty and resilience that exist within us all. Cheryl Strayed doesn't give simple answers. She gives permission to feel, to fail, to hope, and to begin again. Her message is timeless, that even in the hardest chapters of our lives, the small, beautiful